Danbury, Connecticut is a fascinating city with a lush history, but few take the time to dig a little bit deeper. So I took a closer look by going to the Danbury Historical Society and having a word with their executive director. So I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
How was Danbury founded?
Danbury was founded in 1684 by 8 intrepid gentlemen who came up from Norwalk. They wanted a little bit more room to create their own lives, have land to farm and build families, and Norwalk was getting a little crowded, or so they thought. So they planted the town in 1684, they came back in 1685 with their families, and the settlement began.
Danbury moved from an agricultural community to a pre-industrial and industrial community. Hatting began as a few small shops producing a few hats a week. Then, shops became factories. When the railroad came to Danbury in the 1850s, those hats could go out even quicker. The hatting industry set Danbury up to be a lively, interactive, and culturally diverse community. Only one building remains, which was once a hat factory, and that is Kingswood Kitchens, located at Beaver Street. Though this one industry town lost its industry, we did not lose the town. Most towns in that situation perish, but Danbury adapted and evolved. The Dodd Hat Shop used to be located a little further down Main Street, but was relocated. The Hat Shop and Museum receive about 2,000 school children every spring. So I've heard recently more and more about the flood of 55. Can you give me some information on that? Like what caused that flood? Was it rainfall? Was it a dam, a river? What was the start of it?
There have been a lot of disasters in Danbury's history, but the floods of 55 were the most tremendous in scope.
1955 was a wet year. That August, Hurricane Connie dumped a tremendous amount of water on this corner of the state. Main Street alone had $1 million worth of damage. Danbury saw 3 solid days of rain. People were able to ride boats right down Main Street. Some residents had to be helicoptered off of taller buildings. The Still River overflowed and extended all the way to Elmwood Park in the middle of Main Street. Engineers were brought in to bring down the level of the river and prevent it from ever happening again. In the course of 200 years, the park has changed a lot. There's still a John Ryder house, right?
Yes.
And was that ever relocated, or that's
No, the John
spot?
Ryder house was built there about 1785, and it's never been moved. It's gone through several renovations and restorations, but it is open to the public, and it's one of the oldest houses still on Main Street in Danbury today.
Wow. Renowned composer Charles Ives was born right here in Danbury. You can see his name all over the place. His descendants support live music performances to all residents. Now tell me, what is the old jail?
The old jail is right down the street from us, and right now it's a city property. In its lifetime, it was created to be a courthouse jail, and it also housed the Danbury Police Department for some time until the new City Hall, which is no longer in existence, was built.
The original cemetery is still intact directly behind the old jail, home to some of the founders of Danbury. A high Victorian Gothic library was built here in 1778. Is that the same library that we have now today, or is that one long gone?
No, that one's long gone, and the original structure was a white clapboard that was replaced by the original library. It was a really pretty white clapboard house replaced by the existing structure. And the library system in Danbury dates to the late 1700s. The buildings that have been used to house our library have changed over time. The current library is the latest incarnation, and it's going to change yet again as Union Savings Bank moves into the new building they're building further down the street. The Danbury Library will expand into the Union Savings Bank building that is attached to the current library footprint. So the library has been a tremendous cultural institution for the city for generation after generation of Danbury children and adults and seniors. It is a gathering place, it is a place for education, and it is a wonderful, wonderful asset of the city. And the buildings that it has been housed in have just continued to grow to meet the needs. So the library just keeps outgrowing all of its spaces, and this latest edition is going to be, I think, offer a lot of nice changes for the library.
And living in a city and being busy, it's really easy to overlook the history, the past, the importance, the simple beauty of it. And it's really interesting to take a moment and read the plaques, look up at a building. So thank you very much for meeting with me today.
No problem. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for all the information.
Okay.
The face of downtown Danbury has changed a lot over the years, and despite countless challenges, has continued to thrive. Who knows what tomorrow will hold for Danbury, Connecticut?